the giving thing, I became a Christian, and I was all on fire when I first became. I went to Promise Keeper, became a Christian. I ran down there. I felt the Holy Spirit drag me down to the altar call, and then I was all in for everything. But the thing I wasn't all in for, because I didn't totally understand it, was the tithing. My philosophy was, I just want to pay my share. That's it. I just want to pay my share. I don't want to, I mean, I felt it was my money and you're trying to get my money, but I don't mind giving you some of my money, but I want to give you my share. I don't want to give any extra. I just want to give you my share because we all have bills. We're in the midst of church shopping, and I had kids starting private colleges, and I have a special needs daughter. And so mentally in my mind, I took that opportunity to say, hey, I don't belong anywhere. uh, I don't need to really tithe. I need that money, so I just don't need to tithe, and so I won't tithe. And in that process, all of a sudden, I don't remember which pastor it was in one of the church. Could have been here because I was one of the church. We were church up and was here, and and the pastor talked about tithing and that the money and explained that it's not just that they need your money because they don't need your money. God don't need your money, but it was the fact that it's not my money, it's God's money. And he entrusts that money to me. And the tithing is to bless everybody, not just to operate the church and whatever. So then it slowly started to work on me. I didn't jump in and start doing, and so it started to eat on me. And I talked to my Diana, my wife, and I said, hey, I feel, you know, called to do this. And we talked about it, prayed about it, and she was all in. So I said, we're going to tithe with the first. So this is about what we make every month. Good or bad, we write that check every month. Lo and behold, everything was going good. I didn't run low on money, whatever. And then in the midst of all that, I had my two girls get one was going to Christian college. I knew about that. Then my other daughter was going to go to nursing school at Moore Park. All of a sudden, she couldn't get in, and she gets accepted at Mount St. Mary's, another Christian school, another $40,000 a year. Not what Dad had planned. I'm going to borrow some money, from the FAFSA student loan program, and we'll borrow money, and then we'll pay it back later. And then in the midst of all that, we're still being our faithful. And I said, I'll just keep borrowing or whatever. Well, 11th hour, she's getting ready to sign up for her last year of school at 40,000. We get this little note. She gets this little note from Kaiser, is an offer at only 3 Christian colleges to give you $25,000 tuition money. And if you work for Kaiser afterwards, you get, they'll, if you work for 1 year, they'll wipe out half the loan. And then if you work there 2 years, they wipe it all out. And if you decide not to work there, then you have a whole year to start paying. Don't pay any interest till then. And I go, we're in. And then my other daughter, Christy, she gets an offer. She goes, Dad, they asked me if I want to be a RA, residential advisor. I go, what does that pay? She goes, I get free free room and board, $16,000. Sign up, we'll take it. And I thought, hey, things are going good. Was wanted to put a shop on the back of my house, so I borrow $70,000, and I'm going to do it. Well, then all of a sudden, my daughter Stacy, her teeth all start rotting out, and I start going to the dentist. And he goes, hey, she needs a bunch of root canals, and I go, how much is it going to cost? He's like 35,000. I go, you don't know what I got going already. We go $35,000. We're going to dental bills, and every 2 weeks, 5 to 8,000 every 2 weeks for 3 months, right? And then finally it's like at 35, and I go, hey doc, we're at 35. How much more? Another 10, probably. Another 10. Boom, it happens again. Another 10, another 10. And it stops at $65,000, and I go, I don't have this. So then quickly I learned that my shop is out the window. But if you're faithful, me personally, I God was faithful back to me, and I ended up at the end of the year, and I didn't owe a dime. Everything was paid for. I got everything I needed, didn't get everything I wanted, and I have never been so comfortable with my finances as I have since I've been faithfully tithing. I never worry about where the money's going to come from. I'm a testimony that if you're faithful, God will be faithful.